Welcome to Elden Ring Nightreign, the next stop that FromSoft has made in gaming, and it's quite the doozy. So let's hop into this baffling, absolute fever dream of a game. For those of you who want the quick and dirty of Elden Ring Nightreign, yes, it's good. Yes, it's meant for co-op. Yes, you can do it solo if you're particularly masochistic. I'm looking at you. You know who you are. Other than those guys, let's get into my first thoughts. Elden Ring Nightreign is a unique experience, to say the least. The roguelike systems, while rudimentary at their function, in my opinion at least, as somebody who's played Risk of Rain and whatnot, are there. And they're enjoyable. The returning bosses are doozy, the legacy bosses, if you will, but, well, we'll touch on those deeper later because I'm not about to get into that. And, everybody was hyped for this, as this game is quite the hit with player bases right now because it's massive. And that doesn't surprise me because when FromSoft drops, we eat good that year. Happened with Elden Ring, happened with Sekiro, happens whenever FromSoft drops a game, we eat good. Overall, though, it's more Elden Ring. What isn't as good is the map. Is it randomly generated, except for what I've noticed is the castle in the middle of the map? Yes. Yes, it is. Something about the map, though, makes me want more regions instead of just Limveld. I want the snowy mountaintops. Caelid, where they each have their own special areas, unique bosses, and I'll call hotspots, where you have specific activities. Right? And the hotspots right now in Limveld, right? They're camps, merchants, world craters, I think they're called. The crater areas that are always the same, but they change between games and they change the exploration of it. And the way that you go, make the exploration unique each game. New regions would make it even more different. And right now, each game is different, other than that castle in the middle, and the craters seem to be in the same spot each game. Because this is a game to be unique in a way while being the same in others. Enemy encounters can be quite the predicament as well. Normal enemies, normal in quotation, come in two varieties. You got your normal fodder enemies and slightly bigger enemies who drop what I will call a boon. That is your passive, they can drop weapons. I call them boons. I don't know what they're actually called. I'm gonna call them boons. The passive buffs can be different. They could be, say, regenerate FP on hit, regen FP or HP on hit, regen HP, FP on kill, regen HP or FP on critical hits, stuff basic like that. One of them is you could have carrion swords spawning randomly. I've seen when you roll lightning strikes down. I haven't seen everything in the game, of course, but it's something to look at, are the boons and the passes that you can get. The smaller enemies are easy to kill, normally found in groups, and the pseudo bosses are normally accompanied by said fodder enemies, giving for quite the gank sesh. And you're the piñata. Let me tell you what, it's oh so much fun. The bosses are wild. You have two types of bosses. You have pseudo bosses, so I guess you have three. I don't consider those bosses, I consider those just normal enemies. You've got the day bosses, and you have the night bosses. And boy, they have the day bosses you'll encounter far more often, tend to be easier and less unique than the night bosses. You die in the day to a boss or an enemy, you lose your runes a level. You die at night, you better hope your homie can clutch up or that's game. Leads to an addicting form of combat where you learn while under the pressure of not wanting to restart the game, which is very much so there. The bosses themselves for nighttime also tend to be much harder and frankly, way cooler. I've encountered 4 legacy bosses in the game so far: the Duke's Dear Freya, the Nameless King, the Gaping Dragon, and the Dancer of the Boreal Valley. 3 of them are fun to fight. One of them is a Dark Souls 2 boss fight. Smelter Demon would have been so much cooler. And the day 3 bosses, I fought 2 of them. I believe there are 7, and they are hard. But man, they follow the rule of cool. I'm not going to spoil those guys because you'll have to take my word. You want a good team for them. And with that, you need multiplayer and co-op teamwork. Solo players be damned in co-op. You have revives where you smack your buddy till they get up. And of course, 3 bodies is much easier to work with than 1 body. So bosses tend to be slightly easier, much easier if you have a good team comp. Yeah, team comps. Highly debated topic of how leveling system is. Yes, it's predetermined. Yes, it makes sense with the speed of the game. And yes, the characters specializing in specific stats makes sense even if you don't like it. Makes the characters more unique. The items that drop are what decide your build, as they have passives baked into them that can alter how you want to play your character, such as FP or HP regen or hitting, or on hitting, making you play a little more aggressive to spam spells or regen HP. Now, I would say this is harder than normal Elden Ring. Please don't play this before Elden Ring. Elden Ring has a pace that is decided by you, while Nightreign says, fuck you, fight the boss, go to sleep, I repeat it tomorrow. Game is good, and no words can I say it's a bad. And yes, I've skipped over legacy skins. Everybody knows about them, is what it is. The merchants are fun. The way that they go about it is enjoyable. My biggest gripe is the multiplayer, frankly. You can't have a duo. You have to be a trio, or you're running it solo. I tend to play my Souls games with Garrett, who is in this background footage. Me and him have a specific password that we have been running ever since we played Bloodborne. And then we played Dark Souls Remastered, and then Dark Souls 2, and then Dark Souls 3. We have had the same password throughout it all, including Elden Ring. So I enjoy playing a duo with Garrett. The characters, I forgot what they're called, the classes I'll call them, are wholly unique. That's why I can't be mad that they're making it to where we have to have a specific build with a specific character under specific context. That makes sense to me. If you could level up your own factors of the character, the Recluse would not be powerful. And also, your characters would fill other roles. I could Forma, that's Warframe Max. I could absolutely power level Vigor and be a tanky-ass Recluse, and then steal the role of another character, even though that's not the role of the Recluse. The Recluse is supposed to be your squishy, high DPS character. Well, I guess it's more burst DPS, but you get the point. Your Iron Eye, I believe it is another ranged character. Not a lot of HP, don't get in combat, don't be a fucking idiot. While your Wilder, your Guardian, and your Executor are, you're up close. They have more HP, Executor's on the lower end of that HP, but he also doesn't have a fucking giant sword or a halberd and a shield. He's got a katana. He's good at dodging. Same thing with the Duchess. Duchess is good at dodging. The Recluse, the Revenant, and the Iron Eye are probably the 3 most unique ones, as they each specialize in specific things. The Revenant has spirit summons, the Recluse has magic, Iron Eye has bows, while the Duchess, the Executor, the Wilder, the Guardian, and I feel like I'm missing one, but I'm not 100% sure, have close range combat. The Raider's the last one I'm forgetting. They all are, close range combat. They're made to take some hits and go back and forth. It leads to a problem, in my opinion. Now, as I said, this game, I enjoy it greatly. But, this is a very big but, I don't like the multiplayer. It is what it is. I didn't enjoy the way that they did multiplayer. I wish it could be duos. Hell, 4 players would have been cool too, having 4-player co-op. I don't like trios. It is just a thing that I've never enjoyed. It is what it is. I haven't personally ever enjoyed doing trios, but I also do duos in most games that I play because I normally play games with one other person because it gets too loud in my noggin when we have a bunch of people. That's a me problem. I know. As for legacy bosses, they're cool. Honestly, if I had to rank them, we got Gaping Dragon, Nameless King, Dancer, and then Dukes for what I've run into. I'm waiting to run into Centipede Demon because I know he's in the game. Your Night Bearers or your final bosses are very difficult, very enjoyable fights. They will kick your ass. Be very careful. And honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed Elden Ring Nightreign. If you're apprehensive about the game, because one of my buddies were, because he's like, oh, from what I've heard, it's a battle royale. It's fucking not. You can use this video as a deciding factor. Do I recommend that? Absolutely not. There's this motherfucker called Iron Pineapple. Been doing this shit a lot longer than I have. He knows what he's talking about a hell of a lot better than I do, and he had the game longer than me. If you don't have friends to join in the game, join my server, make some new friends. Why not? I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the merch even. And if you feel real fucking snazzy, leave a comment with your opinion. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces, boys. Let's hope these DLCs give us some good characters. I want a Pyromancer DE. Why am I getting Elden Ring and Dark Souls? I want a Pyromancer from Soft.